Good morning, all, depending on when you're watching this. Good afternoon, good evening, or good night. My name's Ross, and as always told, I had a voice for radio. So today, I'm going to be showing you a new Kyogre card, which is going to be coming out in Celestial Storm, which is going to be our August set. And we need to start off by talking about how Kyogre's kind of gotten a little bit screwed in all of this. Now, I've explained this in many videos, so I'm not going to go into great detail here. But long story short, it is the year of legendary Pokemon, and we are getting legendary Pokemon released as GXs in the appropriate month. So, for instance, May was Yveltal and Xerneas, and then in May, in our May set, we got Yveltal EX and Xerneas EX. Well, August is Kyogre and Groudon. They're going to be the ones that you get as the video game giveaway. So I've been merrily predicting for a few months now that we're going to be getting Kyogre and Groudon EXs in Celestial Storm. We're not. We're getting regular Kyogre and regular Groudon. Now, the thing that makes me a little bit upset about this is, what's going on? Why don't they get GXs? Why do all the other legendary Pokemon get GXs and they don't? As a side note, I say all of them. The first Pokemon that really got screwed were Regigigas and Heatran and got plain old ignored in March, which was a little bit sad. So we're getting an August set. We're not getting a Kyogre GX. This is very sad. But we are getting a Kyogre and it could be kind of cool. First of all, 130 HP is very nice because it means it will survive a hit from something like a Zoroark or a Silvally, etc., which is all very nice and good. Then you add in the fact that it's got a weakness to grass. Now, that's a little bit annoying because Tapu Bulu and Golisopod will both naturally hit for 120, so you are actually letting them get a KO where they wouldn't otherwise. Having said that, I don't think either of those Pokemon are going to play a huge part in the metagame going forward, so you should be all right. Retreat cost of 4 is incredibly heavy. Sorry about that, Kyogre. Yeah, just sorry about that, to be honest. But being a water Pokemon is actually really nice. You get access to Brooklet Hill to search it out, and you get access to Aqua Patch to accelerate a bit of energy, which you may well need to do. So, what does Kyogre do? It's got a couple of kind of useful attacks, especially given that it is a basic, making it very techable into any water deck. So first of all, Water Colorless Energy. This attack does 30 damage to 2 of your opponent's Pokemon. And like a lot of attacks, this should sound kind of familiar at this stage, because of course we've got the old Kyogre EX, the one from Dark Explorers, which did a similar kind of thing. Now, to be fair, it did 50 to 2 of your opponent's bench, but it was also on an EX for free energy rather than a non-EX for 2. I'll go along with that. And this could work very nicely indeed. Obviously, if you end up against a deck like Night March and Expanded with their 30 HP Joltik, or you end up against anything else with 30 HP, you're going to be getting some cheeky KOs. Just do remember that Gyarados now has the Magikarp from Crimson Invasion, which will give them protection while it's on the bench. Boo, hiss, etc. But really here, you're not looking for one-hit KOs. You're looking for softening up. So this is essentially something you could use instead of a Tapu Koko promo. Now, Tapu Koko does have free retreat and does attack for just a double colorless energy, though side note, you do attack for just a counter energy if you're behind on prizes, so that's quite nice. But Tapu Koko does 20 to all of them, whereas Kyogre does 30 to 2. And I've illustrated this point in a couple of videos, and essentially 30 is better than 20. We've seen this with stuff like Buzzwole, and the fact that Buzzwole does 30 is great. But also, it's just, if you've got a 60 HP fire Pokemon, let's say something like this promo Litten, well, you're going to be getting a one-hit KO. Okay, no one's actually playing a 60 HP Litten at the moment, but it's just an example, ladies and gentlemen. Please don't be too mean. You get a one-hit KO on stuff like this. That's really nice. I like this a lot. But also, just look at stuff like Zorua. 60 HP, divisible by 30 and by 20, but it's 2 30s or 3 20s. That is the difference between KOing it before it evolves and letting your opponent get an extra Zoroark on the field. You hit a Zorua for 30 and your opponent knows they have to evolve next turn or they're getting KO'd. You hit it for 20 and your opponent goes, I've still got one more turn, it's not that desperate yet. Now, in terms of the energy cost here, I've already mentioned counter energy. I should also mention Aqua Patch. It means it's a potential turn 1 option. Aqua Patch, basic energy, and you're off turn 1, 30, 30, 30, 30. And honestly, I think the best use for this, rather than just teching it into any water deck, is with a Greninja deck. Because you've got Frogadier that drops 20 damage when you evolve up, and you've got Greninja that drops 30 damage when you evolve up. And then you've got a Kyogre that does 30 to each of 2 bench Pokemon, while being a non-GX that firstly only gives up 1 prize, and secondly sits in the active so your Frogadiers and Greninjas don't need to be in the active and potentially at risk of being hit. And this adds up quite nicely, 70 HP Grubbin, couple Frogadier, and then in comes Kyogre to finish it off. If anyone's playing Mew from Fates Collide, okay, it's only for a short period of time before rotation, but if anybody is, you drop a Frogadier and then attack with Kyogre and it goes away. You could do that to 2 Mew in a single turn. Think about something like the aforementioned Zorua. All you need to do here is evolve up into a Greninja, attack with Kyogre, and it goes down. Now, the first couple of Zoroark are going to have evolved before you can get this rolling. Of course they are. But mid to late game, your opponent is probably going to want to drop down an extra Zoroark. So they want to drop down a Zorua first. And they know that if you've got a Frogadier on the bench ready to evolve and a Kyogre ready to attack, they cannot drop a Zorua because you're going to KO it. Even if they drop 2, you could potentially double Greninja and then Kyogre to KO both of them in a single turn. And honestly, in a deck like Greninja, where you're going to be playing Aqua Patch anyway, I do think this is a fairly easy inclusion. I think it's a kind of card you're really going to want to be playing. That's not to say you can't play Tapu Koko as well. Remember that Greninja uses double colourless energy, so you're going to be playing double colourless. But it is to say that sometimes Kyogre will be better. The example I just used with double Greninja Kyogre to take out 2 Zorua in 1 turn, you just cannot do that with a Tapu Koko. And there are a lot of 60 HP basics around. Routes is another big one. I think this could really, really work. Now, as for the second attack here, it's not quite as exciting. Free energy, but you can't use double colourless. It's water colourless. 120, you cannot use this attack next turn. Okay, you can go back to using Dual Splash. It's really not the end of the world. Side note, Kyogre EX's attack was also called Dual Splash. Boom. So 120 here is quite nice. If you're hitting for weakness, think something like Volcanion EX. You will be getting a one-hit KO on almost anything, though my boy Incineroar will have something to say about that. I mean, no one's playing Incineroar, but that's not the point. It's quite nice for getting one-hit KOs. It's quite nice because Greninja GX generally hits for 110 for free energy, but also sits in the active being a bit vulnerable, whereas if you're rocking and rolling with a Kyogre here, not only are you hitting an extra 10 damage, but you're not so vulnerable because you're only giving up 1 prize. Of course, you also have free energy on 130 HP Pokemon, so I will leave that decision up to you. It's a decent little attack. You're going to need to use something like Aqua Patch to get it rolling. It's fine. You might use it once every couple of games. It's not great. And it's not an attack you're going to want to use all the time. But then again, I've said the same thing about Greninja's GX attack. Side note, if anyone's forgotten, it just does 130 to one of your opponent's bench Pokemon. I end up using that in most games, even though I don't think it's a particularly great GX attack. Same with Kyogre here. You'll use it occasionally. It's not a great attack, but you'll use it occasionally. Really, the main attraction for Kyogre here is Dual Splash. And there will be games using either Aqua Patch or Counter Energy where this really becomes useful, where you get a lot of use out of it, and it really kind of puts you ahead in the game. It's great. It's really, really great. Whether you can find room in your deck for it, whether you can get the energy on fast enough, that's a question for you. I certainly think it deserves testing, and I'm going to be giving it between 3 and 4 Wassies. We don't give half Wassies, that would be barbaric. I don't think it's the best card ever, but I think it is a useful tech in a bunch of water decks, especially Greninja, so it gets between 3 and 4 Wassies. But if you want to disagree with me, I won't be too mad at you as long as you lay out your reasons in the comment section. Go nuts! be nice. Make sure you like this video, subscribe to this channel, follow me on Twitter at TheWassy, and Twitch for some live action at twitch.tv/PTCGRadio. If you want to support the channel, get some bonus podcasts and all that, head on over to patreon.com/PTCGRadio, where you can do just that. And do check out my Let's Go Pikachu, Let's Go Eevee video, which I did, and I want to do more of those kind of videos, so check it out, show your friends, I would be delighted. But by far the most important thing, as always, is to look after yourselves until next time. Thank you very much for watching. My name's Ross, and you've been watching PTCG Radio.